Welcome back to the Card Man's Cards. I'm the Card Man. Today we're going to be going over Drytron Combos. Earlier in the week, I posted a deck profile for Drytron. Now we're going over some combos the deck can inherently do, using 1 to 2 cards, all possibly 3 card combos, depending on what the end board looks like. The main goal of the deck is ending on your big ritual. Mino's DA Draconids, also referred to as Dad, on top of some other negates or other end pieces that the deck can use, like recycling into Daimundo or Gun Dragster, depending on the overall start. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Just quick little gander at the deck profile, so you guys know what I'm working with. If there's any wonder, like, oh, why didn't I do this or why didn't I do that? That's the reason. Also, just a quick update. Ancient Fairy Dragon, I'm not inherently running it in the main. I threw an Entis in for the effect if it's sent to grave, target a card and destroy it. It's a good going second choice. Just the only thing that's changed. If you're running Jowgen or want to use the not the anti-spell, the Secret Village lock, Ancient Fairy Dragon is the one you want to use. Because Ancient Fairy can lock by going into Downward Magician. But yeah. Or you want to use Jowgen. That works too. But, alright, we're going to go ahead and jump to the first combo, which I will do twice because it's inherently kind of different, but not. Okay. The first combo we're going to be going into is a one-card combo using Drytron Fafnir or Drytron Nova. I'll show Fafnir first, and I'll do the Nova one second. The way you do this combo is utilizing the new monster, Drytron New 2, and his effect to resurrect himself for free, basically. Let's go ahead and activate Fafnir. Fafnir's going to add a Drytron spell trap. We're going to go ahead and add Drytron Nova. It's the main card we're utilizing, mainly because it allows us to special summon New 2 from the deck. I'm going to go ahead and summon New 2. New 2 is going to go ahead and trigger, which allows us to grab any Drytron monster. And in this case, we grab Alpha. You use the effect of Alpha, tribute New 2, summon Alpha, activate Alpha's effect. You're going to go ahead and grab Ben 10 with this, because you need Ben 10. I'm going to go use the effect of New 2, since I control a Drytron monster, and New 2 is special summoned off of a Drytron effect. On its own effect, I can still use his effect to summon himself. New 2, summon. He can summon in position, so it does not inherently matter. So summon these two. And we're going to inherently go overlay into Move Beta Fafnir. Going to Move Beta Fafnir. Effect of Fafnir. We're going to go ahead and send Zeta. Or Aldaba, or whatever the heck you want to call him. Send to Aldaba. And this is where we're going to use Aldaba effect. Tribute the Ben 10. Summon Aldaba. We're going to activate Aldaba's effect. Going to go ahead and grab Meteonis Drytron. And then we're going to use the effect of Cyber Angel Ben 10 to grab a Light Fairy. And go ahead and grab Diviner of the Herald. Now we're going to normal summon Diviner. Diviner effect, sending a fairy monster. We're going to go ahead and send Herald of the Arclight. Arclight effect trigger. Then send to the graveyard and either add a ritual monster or spell. I'm going to go ahead and grab Dad. Now we have all the pieces we need basically for our end board. And instead of synchroing for this, which you technically could for Don Dragster, if you wanted to go that route, which you definitely could, which I'll definitely show in the next one, or you could inherently use these two for a link of IP Masquerena for Daimundo on your opponent's turn. Because you activate the effect of Meteonis Drytron, summon Dad, detach, tribute, summon Dad. Go ahead and summon in defense for the fact that if you're putting a lightning storms or something, you don't want to inherently be stuck there. But yeah, so you end on a 4 negate board. Because technically Dad has 2 negates per copy. And if you use IP, which I can show in a moment, to go into Diamundo, to tribute Diamundo, to put itself back. Because you go end phase, go to your opponent's turn, and then when they do something, go ahead and activate IP, go into Diamundo, using Dad, and then Diamundo effect, go ahead and target Ben 10, Fafnir, and then you're going to go ahead and chain Diamundo's effect, summon back Dad. Summon the card, which gets you another 2 copy, 2 negates, and then shuffles his card back for you. So you get 2 more negates with Dad, due to his effect being twice per copy, and the only requirement to use his his monster effect negate is banishing a Drytron monster whose attack equals the original attack of that monster, or exceeds it. So, for example, say your opponent summons a level the 15 attack monster, any one Drytron name is enough. Sadly, this combo only puts 3 in gray for you. Aldaba, no, it's 4. Aldaba, Thuban, Nutu, and Mubeta Fafnir. So anything that's 2k or less, you get an easy one banish negate. Anything higher, you have to start banishing multiple copies. That's depending if your opponent's running higher level monsters and you know you're not going to get all 4 off. What I would recommend, which I will show momentarily, instead of going for this route, would synchro into FA Down Dragster for Spell Trap negate on top of the 2 monster negates you get with Dad. So I'm going to go ahead and show that off using Drytron Nova, which again, it's basically the same combo, but inherently you don't get the field spell. 1 less card. So I'm going to inherently go ahead and jump into that. Okay. So, just like the last combo, we're going to inherently just jump into this one. We're going to start with Drytron Nova, and basically do the same thing. Instead of ending on the IP, we're going to end on the Dragster, just for the fact of showing that you can inherently do either or. It doesn't inherently matter which one you do, but I will say if your opponent is using high attack monsters, like for example, Kashtira, they're 24 on the low end. Those are all going to require 2 Drytrons for negation, so you only have 4, so you only get inherently 2 negates if you're playing against Kashtira because of their attack value and how Dad works, to where having a spell trap negate would inherently be better than having just another 5k body. Because once Dad uses his 2 negates and you add a Drytron monsters, there's no inherent real use to keep Dad on the field after that fact. Let's go ahead and activate Drytron Nova. Let's go ahead and, again, summon Nutu. Nutu is your typically 1 card starter. Nutu will trigger. I'm going to go ahead and grab Alpha again. Alpha Thuban. Now using Thuban's effect, tribute Nutu to summon itself. And then go ahead and grab a ritual monster. You still want to grab Ben 10 for this. Ben 10 hasn't changed. Ben 10 is still amazing. Using Nutu's effect, since I control Drytron card, special summon it. It's like the best use for Nutu because if he banishes when it leaves the field. But guess what? It technically doesn't leave the field. It goes to Pixie material for Mubeta Fafnir. Go to Mubeta. Mubeta's effect. We're going to go ahead and send Aldaba once again. That's any card, but we need Aldaba. The fact that he gets us a ritual spell. Or inherently, oh no, you already used Alpha, so you inherently can't get yourself another name this way. Because the only other name you run is Delta, which is a draw. So I'll go ahead and set Aldaba. We're going to use Aldaba's effect. We're going to go ahead and tribute Ben 10, summon Aldaba, trigger Aldaba's effect. I'm going to go ahead and grab Drytron. And then we're going to have Ben 10 effect to add a Light Fairy. I'm going to go ahead and grab Diviner. And then you're going to normal summon Diviner. and then Diviner is going to go ahead and send a Fairy Monster. Depending on if you're going first or second, will depend on who you send. If you need the add-off Arclight, of course, send Arclight. But if you have the ability to not send Arclight, go ahead and send Entis. But for this combo, we're going first, so we need inherently the card. And we're going to go ahead and grab Dad with this. Also, if Dad gets removed by any means, you can go ahead and summon a Ritual Monster from your deck. That's 4K or less. No, it's just 4K. So any of the other Drytron monsters, and it's treated as a ritual summon, so you get the inherent effects. And then we're going to go ahead and, instead of linking these two, we're going to go ahead and synchro into Don Dragster. Synchro. Hitman Defense. And then we're going to go ahead and use Meteonis Drytron. Use the entirety of Fafnir. Sorry, move Beta Fafnir. 1, 2, 3. Summon Dad in defense as well, just for the fact that Lightning Storm can get rid of it. You could inherently drop his attack to grab Minion on his back, but again, you can wait till next turn. So basically, it's the same combo line. You just end on one different card instead. So the main reason I'm saying you do this route instead of the other one is if you know you're going against high-level monsters. So this is a game like 2 or 3. Kashtira, anything like that. Anything that has big bodies that inherently does a lot of stuff. You would rather go this route because Dad's not going to get you the additional negates he would against low attack bodies. Like, say you're playing against Yubel, 4 negates with Dad is amazing because all the inherent Yubel monsters are really low attack. And Dad bases his negation off the attack value of the monster you're negating. It has to equal or exceed. Yubel monsters are all 0/0 or very low. Unless they're playing the Fiendsmith engine, but again, those are a whole different thing. But the Yubel values are 0/0 on all of them. They're all 0/0 fiends. So inherently getting 4 negates with Dad would be more beneficial than inherently just getting the 2 negates and a spell trap negate. Unless you inherently use stuff like Nightmare Pain or Nightmare Throne. But again, if you can get both on the field while still getting the 4 negates with Dad, that's amazing. But you get more stopping power this way with Dad if you have the 4 negates with Yubel, against Yubel, because they all do stuff, than you would with just the 1 spell trap negate too. Basically, you're trading 1 negate for 1 spell trap negate. But again, all depends what you're playing against. So we're going to go ahead and jump into a 2-card combo that allows you to, I wouldn't say inherently do more, but allows you to fill your board up a bit better. Allows you to extend more, I should say. Let's go ahead and jump into that. Basically just involves opening a way to search a name and another name. Okay, so we're going to do a couple 2-card combos and possibly a 3-card combo if I get the time. I don't want to make these videos too long for your guys' enjoyment. Again, if you guys want more combos or more things to go over, let me know in the comments. I'm willing to go over more content for you guys. It's just, I don't want to make these super long where you guys don't want to watch them, but long enough to where they're engaging. So, alright, we're going to go ahead and start with 2 different Drytron names. The best 2 you can inherently open. One being Thubin and the other one being Gamma. These are the best 2 names you can inherently open. For multiple reasons. One, because Thubin inherently is just an engine card. Because you summon Thubin, attributing the Gamma, you add a ritual monster. Grab Ben 10. You don't need the other ones quite yet. Ben 10 is your go-to grab. Depending on how you want to do this, you can use Gamma attributing the Thubin and summon both back, or you can inherently just use the Ben 10 in hand. I'm going to choose to use the Ben 10 in hand. So we're going to go ahead and use Gamma effect, tribute Ben 10, summon Gamma, and then we're going to use Ben 10's effect. We're going to go ahead and grab another Ben 10 because we're going to use it again later on. Now we're going to go ahead and make our favorite rank 1 EXE, move Beta Fafnir. Now, instead of inherently sending Audaba, we're going to search it. Not we're going to search it. We're going to send new 2. Because with new 2 engrave, when we control Drytron Monster, we inherently get another body. So we can go ahead and summon new 2. New 2 effect is going to go ahead and grab us another Drytron Monster. We're going to go ahead and grab Ultimate Bright Knight or Citron Alpha, which allows us to head in, since we control a Drytron Monster, inherently summon. And then, since we summoned him, we're going to add Earth's Arctic or Drytron Spell. Go ahead and grab Fafnir, and then activate Fafnir. Fafnir effect is going to go ahead and grab us Drytron Nova. And the cool thing we're going to do here now is we're going to inherently go ahead and activate Nova, and we're going to go ahead and summon Eldaba. Granted, you're not going to get the inherent effect of Eldaba, but that's okay. So we're going to summon Eldaba. Now, we have multiple names that we inherently can't do anything with. But, we can inherently go ahead and link our Ursaturn Alpha and Aldaba off for Masquerena to get the additional 2 negates Dad. And we can go ahead and activate the effect of Aldaba Engrave, tributing to Ben 10 to summon itself back, and then use Aldaba's effect to go ahead and grab Idiona's Drytron, giving us the additional name. And then using the second copy of Ben 10 to go ahead and grab Diviner. Because now you're still going to get the additional normal summon of Diviner. Diviner's going to go ahead and send Herald of the Arclight. Arclight's going to go ahead and grab your big monster. Let's go ahead and grab Dad. And now we're going to go ahead and activate Dad. Using effect. Let's go ahead and use new 2. And then, unfortunately, depending on how you do this, you're going to have to gobble Fafnir or something along the lines, because no matter what you do, you're going to have one name short of actually doing something. So we're going to inherently just go ahead and get rid of the Fafnir as a whole. If you inherently could make it to where you opened a secondary name while able to get Gamma Engrave, you can inherently continue playing that way and make a secondary link. Then we're going to go ahead and activate Meteonis just because we can. We're going to go ahead and lower Eldaba. And then we're going to go ahead and Synchro Summon into Don Dragster. Putting him in defense for that value. No effect. So, basically your 2-card combo, at least with opening Alpha, Thuban, and Gamma, or any combination of that, like if you open any real way to get 2 names on field with inherently out using new 2, you basically guarantee anything, basically any other name, any ritual monster, or any Drytron name with Thuban gets this combo. Because you can always use the Ben 10 you search off of Thuban to tribute for the cost of the other one you send. So that's more than likely what's going to happen. So yeah, there's that. I'm going to go ahead and do this combo once more time with a different pair of names. Just to show off its effectiveness, I guess. And how well you can do this combo even with different names. And then we'll go ahead and do a 3-card combo. And then we'll just do a couple test hits at the very end. I'm not sure how long this video has been going for, but probably like 15, 20 minutes, something along those lines. Okay. For this 2-card combo, I'm going to inherently show, even using new 2 early in the combo, you can still end on those 3 cards. IP, Dad, and Don Dragster. So you get Spell Trap Negate, and then 4 Monster Negates. So a 5 Negate board off of 2 cards. The main thing here is you're going to want to depending on how you do your sequencing. And the main thing that's going to help is using New2 as a material so it's not inherently banished. Let's go ahead and activate Cyber Emergency. And we're going to grab the tried and true, one of the best cards ever printed for this archetype, Alpha Thuban. Now you're thinking, why are you grabbing Thuban? New2 is inherently just a free summon. You are correct. But for later on in the combo, the monster you send to grave, off of the effect of Mubeta Fafnir, you're going to need a card to summon or tribute for that, which you won't have unless you grab a ritual monster. Which again, it doesn't really matter what, but you're going to grab Ben 10. Go ahead and activate Thuban, send New2, summon Thuban, Thuban effect, go ahead and grab Ben 10. Now, since we're using the New2 really early, we can get a lot of cards really quickly. Because New2's effect is going to go ahead and summon itself, and you're going to go ahead and grab a Drytron monster, which again, the best really card to search with him, unless you're really hounding for names, he's going to go ahead and grab Ursatron Alpha. Because Ursatron Alpha gets you another body, a spell, and another spell, depending on how you play it out. Because if I go ahead and summon Ursatron Alpha, which gives me another free body, along with grabbing an Drytron spell, so let's go ahead and grab Fafnir. Fafnir effect allows me to grab Nova outright, so I'm inherently just doing things in a weird order. I go ahead and grab Nova. You can activate Nova now or later, it doesn't inherently matter, because the way you're going to summon stuff. Is you're going to go ahead and activate Nova, and we're going to go ahead and summon Alba with this. Now we're going to go ahead and overlay into Fafnir. Fafnir effect. We're going to send Gamma. Now, because Alba hasn't done anything, Gamma hasn't done anything, but we still have two names and no real way to do anything. So what we're going to do is go ahead and link for IP using Alba and Ursatron Alpha, linking those two for IP. And we're going to use the effect of Gamma to go ahead and summon 2 back while also replacing our name. Basically, refill our slots. I know, I want to do Alba first. Yeah, Alba first. Go ahead and send Ben 10. Summon Alba. Add a ritual spell. Effect. Grab a Ben 10. Because that's right, it's 2k or less. So then we're going to go ahead and use the effect of Gamma, tributing the other Ben 10. Summon Gamma. Gamma will trigger. Go ahead and summon back the Ursatron Alpha to your field. And activate Ben 10's effect to go ahead and grab ourselves Diviner of the Herald. Now this is where it comes in really cool, because now since we have another 2 monsters we can work with when we summon Dad. So we're going to go ahead and normal summon Diviner. Diviner's going to go ahead and send Arclight. Arclight's going to go ahead and grab us Dad. And you're going to go ahead and synchro into Dondraxer with any 2 names. So go ahead and do Alba. No trigger. Now, since we already have 2 names on the field, we only need to detach 1 off of Fafnir. So technically, doing it with New2, you inherently get an additional negate of a spell trap since you control Ritual Monster, which is pretty cool. So you activate Medionis, use Dad. Let's go ahead and use Ursatron Alpha, Gamma, and we're going to go ahead and use New2, just put it in Graveyard. Now we're going to summon Dad in defense, just for the fact that if Lightning Storm happens, he'll be okay. But yeah, so here's what we all end up with a two card hand of being Cyber Emergency and New 2, which are both 3s and not inherently not that uncommon to come across. Is you end up with an IP Masquerena, Dad, which is 2 negates, Mubeta Fafnir, and Don Dragster. Granted, with the Mubeta Fafnir on field, you don't have that inherently many more names on the field, but that's okay, because when you use Mubeta Fafnir's effect, you got to detach for cause, so you're inherently putting one more name into the grave, which is okay. And I do believe you end up with at least 4 names in grave, because you have Earthstone Alpha, Gamma, New 2, and then Aldaba Zeta, depending on how you want to name him. So it gives you at least 4 names in grave of 2k apiece, on top of possibly a 5th name, or more, depending on how you link things. Like, say, for example, somehow Mubeta Fafnir gets destroyed, that's a secondary name that it gets put in the grave. So you have Spell Trap Negate with Don Dragster, additional Spell Trap Negate with Mubeta Fafnir, 2 monster negates on top of a possible 2 additional monster negates, or anything else with Masquerena. So you basically have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 negates off of 2 cards, which is pretty nuts. You get 2 monsters and 2 spell trap negates, which is pretty cool. Also, depending on the deck you're playing, you can manipulate shenanigans, and I love it. Fafnir's secondary effect, which is not very much to think about, but you can reduce a monster's level by 1 per 1,000th of its current attack, then on level 1 for the rest of the turn, with each effect of Drytron Fafnir once per turn. I'll give you a perfect example this is going to work against. Playing against Sprite. They're all level 2s. They activate Starter. They summon Sprite Blue. Sprite Blue effect will trigger. Go ahead and add Carrot. Trigger Fafnir. Make Sprite Blue level 1. They can't overlay anymore or link for the fact that he's no longer a level 2 monster. It hinders them by making their monsters no longer level 2 or anything of the slight. Sword Soul the same way. If your opponent activates a Sword Soul monster effect to summon themselves out and summon a token, you chain this, it drops their monster per 1,000 attack by 1 level. Even if it's 1 level, that can make a difference between a 5 and a 6. So, just keep that in mind. So, inherently, this might not seem as a negate, but it's some form of interruption depending on what you're playing against. If you're playing against a Link deck that doesn't matter the levels, yeah, Fafnir's not really going to do a whole lot. But if you're playing against anything that matters, Synchro or Ixie decks that require certain levels, or even rituals, and they have to use monsters on field that matter. But yeah, just for food for thought. So that's another 2-card combo. I'm not sure how long this video is going to go, so we're just going to jump to just 2 test hands to end out the video, and then we'll go from there. Okay, let's go ahead and start with a test hand. This test hand's pretty bananas. We already have Aldaba, we have Gamma, and we also have New 2 to start. So basically, all the names we could ever want to see, we have. So the likelihood of us playing around a bunch of crap is very valid. The only sad part is how we're going to have to get Thubin in rotation. That's the only sad part. Let's go ahead and activate Aldaba. We're going to go ahead and send New 2. Because New 2 does not matter. It inherently is just a free summon from grave. We'll keep the Ben 10 for later. Activate New 2's effect. Summon itself. New 2 will trigger. I'm going to go ahead and grab us any card we want. We're going to go ahead and grab Earthstone Alpha. Because why not? Activate Earthstone Alpha. Go ahead and give us another name. Earthstone Alpha is going to go ahead and grab us our Earth Usher or Drytron spell. We're going to go ahead and grab Fafnir. Fafnir is going to activate. We're going to go ahead and grab a Drytron Nova. Give us an additional name. Now, since we already have Gamma and Zeta, we're going to send Thubin off of Mu Beta Fafnir. So you can inherently summon Delta with this. So we're going to inherently just going to go ahead and activate Nova. And we're going to summon Delta, the other name we run, just because we have no other reason to summon other names. Because we're going to keep Gamma in hand for later. So we're going to go ahead and overlay into, not move the box, Mu Beta, using Nu 2 and Aldaba. Saving Delta for later. I'm going to go ahead and send off of Mu Beta Fafnir. We're going to go ahead and send Thubin. I'm going to use Thubin's effect, Engrave. We're going to go ahead and tribute Ben 10. Summon Ben 10. Activate effect. We're going to go ahead and grab Medionis. Sorry, Dad. Effect of Ben 10. And a secondary copy of Ben 10. Let's go ahead and link into Masquerena using Delta and Thubin. Two names that we don't inherently need anymore. Let's go ahead and activate Delta's effect Engrave to tribute Ben 10 to summon itself. Then we're going to go ahead and activate. Let's go ahead and reveal either or because it doesn't matter because they both know we have them. And add a card. Ooh, that's a nice card to add for follow-up. Ben 10 effect. We're going to add another copy of Ben 10 since we already have Gamma and we don't want to inherently tribute any other names we already have off. And we're going to go ahead and use Gamma's effect, tributing the other Ben 10 we just drew, and we're going to go ahead and summon. You could also inherently tribute Dad, but that runs the risk of inherent called by or DD Crow shenanigans. Doesn't inherently matter which way you want to do this. You could leave a Ben 10 for your next turn if you're so inclined, but just be wary if you do tribute Dad with this effect. There, you run the risk of it being banished from your graveyard and not summoning Dad. Go ahead and summon Thubin back, so we get 5 monsters without even getting the additional add off of Diviner yet. So now we have a bunch of monsters to work with and a whole lot to do. Because now we guarantee ourselves a copy of this guy, because we can gobble 2 and tribute 1. That still leaves us with 2 monsters to work with. Or, if you're so inclined, you can inherently just fully eat the Mu Beta Fafnir if you wanted to put Mirage Lights on the field. Because if you have a fairy, go ahead and pitch a fairy. If you want to do Silhouette Rabbit for additional 2 monster interruptions and a Spell Trap Pop, you can. That's the thing you can do. Again, I would say possibly Nightingale, but it's too early for Nightingale because you can't make suits quite yet. But yeah, any of those. Because Dad can gobble 2 monsters off the field. Any 2. Be this one and this one. And then 1 from here. That's a Spell Trap Negate. And then you Synchro. That so that inherently only leaves you with 1 extra monster. So I think we're going to go ahead and link. Let's go ahead and link this and Delta. Silhouette Rabbit. Silhouette Rabbit's effect. We're going to go ahead and set Silhouette Trick. Go ahead and normal summon Diviner. Diviner effect. The sad thing is, the way we inherently have to do this, we still have to send Arclight. Arclight effect will inherently grab us the other ritual monster. So we still have a monster to grab, but inherently not the one you want to. And then let's go ahead and synchro for Don Dragster. And then, since we drew one, technically we could still inherently keep Mu Beta Fafnir. Let's go ahead and activate Medionis. Use Dad. using the new 2 in hand, Thubin from field, and then Eldaba under the monster. Summon Dad. No effect. And just keep it there. So, yeah, we inherently have to gobble the monster we added to the hand due to the Delta draw. But that's okay. It got me one more negate out of it, so that's not inherently a bad thing. And we have plenty of names for Dad, so the double Dad negate, the quad Dad negate is not going to be a problem. We have Thubin, new 2, Zeta, Gamma, Delta, Ursatron, on top of the detach from Mubeta Fafnir being another new 2. So we have plenty of material to banish, on top of the 2 face-up card negates of Silo Hat Rabbit, the trap card doing that, and then the spell trap pop of Silo Hat Rabbit itself. So that's what? 1, 2, possibly 2. 2, 6, 7, 8. Plus a hand trap. So 9 interruptions off of that hand. That's kind of crazy to think about. We have 9 interruptions plus our field spell, which possibly could be an interruption. So almost 10 interruptions off that hand, which was a pretty decent hand. It was mainly names, which is pretty gas hands for Drytron. Opening a bunch of names is like really good because you can just do crazy crap. But yeah, that's basically the extent of this one. But yeah, that's, and also depending, you don't inherently have to use the 4 negates for this. You can turn IP and Mu Beta into Unicorn or SP if you have the money for SP. If you don't, it's perfectly okay. And spin back a card for an additional gate instead of using the additional off of Dad. But again, it all depends. Or even if you're so inclined, depending on how you do it, say you use Dad twice and then your opponent summons a monster, you chain Masquerena to it. Depending on how Daimundo is worded, read him real quick. Daimundo, target 1 card on the field and 1 card on a monster in your grave. Travel both targets into the deck. I'm not sure how that inherently works. Daimundo might be able to target a card your opponent controls. Because it's on the field. So it might be able to target a card your opponent controls. I'm not 100% sure. But you can inherently spin a card back your opponent controls as well. So inherently possible even more interaction that you can do. But yeah, a lot of stuff you can do. If you had Ben 10s earlier and didn't need them, like say you opened both ritual monsters, Dad and this other one, and you only went through 1 Ben 10, Herald of Arclight was also a good option to go to. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do one more test hand, and then I think I'm going to call it for the video, because this video is probably roughly about half hour, almost 40 minutes now. So let's go ahead and jump to the next test hand and go from there. Alright. Ooh, this one's kind of rough. We open with Nova, which is not a bad start, but we open with 2 Gamma. That's the depressing part. Yeah, that's kind of sad. Is there any way to remedy this? Kinda. I can see a ways to work around this. Let's go ahead and activate Nova. Nova effect is going to summon new 2. New 2 effect is going to inherently... yeah, I have to summon... grab Alpha. Ursatron's not going to do me any good. Let's go ahead and use Alpha's effect. Tribute new 2 because it has a resurrection effect. Let's go ahead and grab Dad since we already have Ben 10. We don't need any other ritual monsters this turn. So I'm going to use new 2's effect to summon itself. Let's go ahead and make Beta Fafnir. Move Beta Fafnir. I think we can still inherently send... I think we can send Zeta. Because we still get the add off of Arclight, which can grab Meteonis. So we don't inherently need Eldaba. While Delta gets us a guaranteed +1 as an additional name. So let's go ahead and send Delta. We're going to go ahead and use Delta. Tribute Gamma in hand. Summon itself. Effect. Reveal Dad. Because the one puts some opponent knows. Foolish Barrel. Ooh, that's a good card. Yeah, that's actually really helpful. Because now we can handily just do Foolish Burial. And then we can just send any additional name we can't have access to, like Ursatron Alpha. Let's go ahead and send Ursatron Alpha. Because we don't inherently need anything else. And Ursatron Alpha, other than 2 add, is kind of a dead card. So let's go ahead and use Gamma. We're going to go ahead and pitch the Ben 10 in hand because I want to... No, I'm going to go ahead and tribute... No, yeah, let's do the Ben 10. Tribute Ben 10, summon the Gamma. Gamma effect, summon the Ursatron Alpha. And then use the effect of Ben 10 to grab another copy of Ben 10. Let's do that. So that gives us another 4 bodies to work with. Sorry, 2 bodies. Let's go ahead and summon, normal summon Herald of Arclight. Arclight effect. Send Herald. Herald effect. Grab Meteonis. Go ahead and synchro into Dragster. And these 2. Go ahead and ritual summon. I can get IP off of this. Or I can either get 2 more monster negates with IP, or I can get another spell trap negate with Mirage Lights. Or I could do... Yeah, let's just do... We'll do... 1 from hand. No, I don't think it matters. I think no matter what I do, I'm not going to end up with a good hand. So I think the best bet is just going to go ahead and gobble Mu Beta. Yeah. So Thuban, Mewtwo, Mu Beta Fafnir. Go for Dad. It depends. If your opponent's playing a spell-heavy deck, I would say for Mirage Lights. But if your opponent's playing more monster-heavy cards, I would say go for the additional monster negates with Dad. But again, it depends. This is like real nit-gritty crap. Stuff. Whatever. Mirage Lights is an additional spell trap negate. But again, you're missing 1 monster negate for this. It really depends. It truly does. I'm going to go ahead and just make Masquerena for the time being. Or you can even make Silhouette Rabbit. Really legit for another 2 monster interruptions. And Spell Trap Pop. You could do that way too. That's something you could do, depending on what you wanted to do. Let's actually do that, 'cause I think that's actually inherently better. So you at least get 1 negate out of this, 2 out of him, 1 there. And if Silhouette Rabbit's still on the field, you get the spell trap pop. So any continuous spell or field spell or continuous trap is inherently popped. So, again, that all depends on what you're playing against. Like, for example, Ubel could have benefited from all of those. Popping Nightmare Pain or Nightmare Throne, negating Nightmare Pain or also Nightmare Throne, stopping all the Ubel cards or any of the Ubel support cards. Sword Soul, I would say you want more monster interaction than spell trap interaction, because the only thing they're really going to do is use Sword Soul Emergence or any of the Tenyi spells, I guess. But again, they're all more monsters. Sprite, same thing, they're more monsters. The only thing I really use is Starter, so monster effects would be better. But yeah, it just depends what you're playing against. Spellbook, I guess, you would want more spell negations. So I really wouldn't even worry about making Dad. Just put as many bodies on the field as you can. And possibly summoning the other ritual out, the lower one. Possibly, so you can only use 2 instead of the 3. So you can just have to use 1/1. Possibly make Mirage Lights, get as many spell trap negates as you can. You could do that. It just depends on what you're playing. But yeah, I think I'm going to call the video there. I'm assuming this is probably roughly about half hour, 40 minutes, maybe longer. 100% sure. Don't keep it too long, but don't want to keep it too short either. So, until next time, this has been the Cardman's Cards. This has been Drytron Combos. Until next time, I say that twice in almost every video. Keep collecting. Bye.